Good morning, my Real News Midday TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. And in the news this morning for February 17, 2024, comes a probe possible link between man's murder and the PNP candidate's campaign car fire. The St. James police are now investigating a car fire and a murder in the Lilliput community to determine if they are linked. On Thursday night about 7 p.m., a Nissan AD wagon that was being used as part of the campaign machinery for the People's National Party councillor candidate Jason Cummins was set on fire. Shortly after, a man who has been identified as 44-year-old Kenroy Doman, otherwise called the Shrimpy, was shot and killed in the community. A high-ranking officer informed the news that they are investigating the incident to determine if both are linked. Reports are that just after 7 p.m., the Nissan AD wagon, which was parked along the roadway, was seen ablaze. The fire brigade was alerted, and a team from the Anshore station responded to the scene and extinguished the blaze. 2 arrested following massive gun and ammo seizure at the Kingston Wharves. 2 individuals have been taken into custody in connection with a massive gun and ammunition seizure at the Kingston Wharves on Friday. According to the police, the seizure was as a result of a joint operation between the Jamaica Constabulary Forces, Counter-Terrorism and Organized Crime Branch and the Jamaica Customs Agency, in what the police described as a significant stride in the relentless efforts of Jamaican law enforcement agencies to combat illegal firearm trafficking. 64 assorted 9mm pistols, 965 9mm rounds of ammunition, and 107 magazines were discovered concealed within a shipment originating from the United States. Deputy Commissioner of Police Fitzbailey emphasized the importance of collaboration and interdependence among law enforcement agencies. This reinforces the importance of collaboration and interdependency, and that is what we have been doing as a group of law enforcement agencies. We are getting better at collaborating, and I want to express gratitude for the level of support that we are getting from the Jamaica Customs during our investigations, especially into firearm trafficking, Bailey said in a statement on Friday. Investigations into the origin and the destination of the illicit firearms are underway as authorities continue their efforts to combat the transnational crime. Meanwhile, DCP Bailey is appealing to Jamaicans in the diaspora to desist from contributing to violence in the homeland through the trafficking of weapons. Highlighting the impact of the flow of illegal guns from the U.S. into Jamaica, DCP Bailey said, "We hear about the problems of gun violence in Jamaica, and I want to make an appeal to the Jamaican citizens who actually are creating this significant problem that we have. I am appealing to the diaspora to engage the citizens and encourage them to desist from this type of destructive activity that is preventing them from coming to Jamaica to enjoy the paradise that we have." Man to face trial for allegedly biting Transport Authority employee, however accused declared of destroying property. A man who was accused of destroying several items at the Transport Authority office in Freeport, Montego Bay, and even biting one of the officers, was acquitted of malicious destruction of property at the end of his trial in the St. James Parish Court on Tuesday. However, although he was cleared of the malicious destruction of property charge, St. James resident Roger Moore will still face a trial for unlawful wounding in connection with biting the officer. On Tuesday, trial judge Sasha Mary Smith Ashley heard the testimonies from 2 Crown witnesses. The first witness was a Transport Authority area supervisor and a complainant in the case. He testified that on November 1, about 12:05 p.m., he was at the company's Freeport office having a meeting with his manager when someone arrived and notified the manager that a man wanted to see her. He stated that he stepped outside and saw the accused, who asked if he could see the manager, to which he replied yes. "I went back inside and had a conversation with the manager before returning outside to inform the man that the manager will soon be with him. He told me that he wanted to see the manager right now, and if he can't, he's going to mash up the place and kill who he wanted to kill," the witness stated. The witness also stated that the accused attempted to enter the manager's office, but that he blocked the entrance to prevent him from entering. Moore then bit him on the left arm, he claimed, and he tried to stop him by pushing his hand away from his mouth. He also claimed that the other co-workers intervened and assisted by pulling him away. According to the witness, Moore was later handcuffed by the police, but he stressed that he had left the compound before Moore was taken away. Moore was given the opportunity to offer his account of events and question the transport authority officer on the stand, and the officer denied practically everything Moore said. The second witness, the arresting officer, testified that he was at the transport authority office when he saw Moore and notified him that a warrant had been issued for his arrest and that he needed to be taken back into custody. He then told me that he was not going back into custody and that I would have to kill him, the officer added. The officer stated that he gave the warrant to another police officer and informed the accused he was not there to kill him. He said that Moore insisted on not returning to custody, so he told him to go with the other officer. The officer stated that he later heard a commotion and observed Moore's hands swinging. He claimed that a desktop monitor slid off the desk and that he overheard Moore threatening to mash up the place. The judge then sought clarity, asking the officer if he had witnessed Moore shove the monitor off the desk. The officer acknowledged that he had indeed witnessed this incident. He said he then placed Moore in custody pending the warrant about which he had been informed. After hearing the testimonies, Smith Ashley concluded that because there was such a disparity between the versions, she would not be able to render a verdict beyond a reasonable doubt of guilt. The doubt is just too much because of the glaring differences in the testimonies. At this time, I am stopping the case, and a not a guilty verdict will be entered, Smith Ashley said. Regarding the wounding charge, the court was informed that the case was ready for trial. The judge then asked Moore whether he wanted the court to assign him an attorney, to which he replied that he could afford one but needed some time. I am going to give you 2 weeks to get a lawyer. If on that date you do not have one, I'll assign one to represent you and set a trial date, and whatever happens on that date, the case is going to be tried, the judge said before scheduling the case for mention on March 1. She extended Moore's bail until then. Moore was accused of damaging a Dell monitor, a desktop telephone, and a shelf inking stamp on November 1, 2023 at the Transport Authority's office. Curfew imposed in sections of Brownstown, Kingston. A 48-hour curfew has been imposed in sections of Brownstown, Kingston 16. The curfew began at 6 p.m. on Friday, February 16, and will remain in effect until 6 p.m. on Sunday, February 18. The boundaries of the curfew are as follows: north along Cumberland Avenue and Lincoln Avenue from Upper Ellison Road to North Avenue, east along North Avenue from Cumberland Avenue to West Avenue, south along Windward Road from West Avenue to Upper Ellison Road, west along Upper Ellison Road from Windward Road to Cumberland Avenue. During the hours of the curfew, all individuals within its boundaries are required to remain within their premises unless otherwise authorized by the ground commander. Simone Campbell Collymore shooter staked out apartment complex night before murder, witness testifies. One of the shooters allegedly involved in the murder of businesswoman Simone Campbell Collymore slept in a car at her apartment complex the night before she was fatally shot 19 times. The shooter in question was also reportedly observed leaving the car the following morning and knocking on the door of her husband's apartment. The revelation was made on Friday during the testimony of a security guard who worked at the complex. The 32-year-old businesswoman and her taxi driver Winston Walters were killed outside her Forest Ridge apartment complex in Red Hill, St. Andrew on January 2 when two men sprayed the vehicle with bullets close to 4 p.m. Her husband Omar Collymore and his co-defendants Michael Adams, Dwayne Pink and Shaquille Edwards are currently on trial for the double murder. The security guard, who was working a 12-hour shift which started at 7 a.m. on New Year's Day that year, testified that around 3 a.m. he was doing a routine patrol on the complex when he noticed a light blue Toyota car parked next to one of the car parks on the compound. The witness said he had never seen the car before and became suspicious as it was not customary for a vehicle to be parked on the property like that, and so he went to check. When he got closer to the car, he said he noticed a man sleeping in it, and when he bounced the vehicle, the man raised his head before lowering it. According to the witness, he got a good look at the man as the area was very bright owing to the street light and the fluorescent bulbs on the compound. He described the man as having a brown complexion and appearing to be bleaching with tattoos on his lower hands. The guard also told the court that he recorded the license plate number, and when he checked the logbook, he saw the name of the driver and that the person came to visit Collymore. The guard said after pondering for about 10 minutes about the situation, he resumed his patrol and returned to the guardhouse. About 5:30 a.m. that morning, the guard said he went to a section of the property and positioned himself so that he could observe who was coming out of the car. Half an hour later, the guard said he heard the door being opened and saw when the person exited the vehicle. However, he said as he approached the man, he walked in the direction of apartment 2 and knocked on the door. The witness said he immediately walked up to the pool area, and after observing nothing unusual, he returned to his post. Hours later, after departing work, the guard said he was home at 4:30 p.m. when he got a call and went to the premises where he saw several police officers and the guards. After arriving, he said he saw that the security personnel were viewing security footage and observed that it was a recording of the shooting. Describing what he saw, he said, "I viewed a dark blue 4-door taxi approaching the gate. Following behind were 2 motorcycles with 2 pillions. When the vehicle approached the gate and the female guard was approaching the gate to see who it was, the bikes approached the car without warning, and the 2 pillions approached both sides of the car and opened fire." Asked if he could see the shooters, the guard said he could see the men in their entirety, their clothes and their faces. The first shooter that came on the driver's side was the same individual I saw earlier that morning, coming out of the Blue Wish and approaching Mr. Collymore's apartment, the guard recalled. He also remembered that the shooter was wearing the same clothes that he saw him wearing earlier. The trial continues on Monday.